Tonight I'm going to review a movie called Most Likely to Die, aka Slaughter High Ripoff. Alright, so let's get into this. First off, I had heard this movie wasn't great from friends, and they were right. It is not. But I went ahead and watched it anyways. It's on Netflix. It's about, it's yet another kid gets bullied in high school, wants revenge, like Slaughter High, which it fucking rips off blatantly, and stuff like, The Final, that movie from the After Dark Horror Fest, and one that actually is great recently was Unfriended. Webcam, found footage type movie. Thought it was gonna be meh. Ended up being excellent. Like really, really fucking good. So if you haven't seen Unfriended, I highly recommend it, even if you don't like the found footage genre. It's shot a little bit more, as I said, it's on the computer. It's kind of like The Den, which was also excellent. But anyway, let's get back to this movie. Now, I'll point out the good first, which there's very little, to be honest. The film doesn't appear to be so bad when you're watching it, especially at first, but there's just so many things wrong with it. The acting starts out okay. I think that the interactions between the characters is believable. They seem like friends who have known each other for a while, and their dialogue is realistic enough in the beginning. The cinematography is good. They start using filters throughout the night scenes, which kind of gives it this more bluish tint, which is fine. I don't mind. I don't mind filters. The killer looked really cool. He definitely had the Slaughter High look, a graduate with a mask on. And he used a very unique weapon that I haven't seen in a movie like this. I don't want to get into spoilers, so in case you do check out this movie, I don't recommend checking out this movie. So, but if you do, I won't kill it for you. And then, really, the only other thing that I can say that was good was there's this one scene where the girl goes up to shoot a lock with a gun. One of the like one of those locks that you put on a gate or whatever. And the girl actually stops her, like, no, that won't work. It'll ricochet and probably kill us, and it won't break the lock anyway, which is totally true. It does not blow off a lock. That's a total bullshit thing that happens in most movies. So it was nice for them to actually mention that. And then I guess let's get to the bad, which, as I said, there's pretty much an abundance of it. The lead actress just does not carry the film. Her performance is just so unrealistic. And this actually happens later in the movie with everybody, but her initial reaction to the first body that she finds is so unbelievable. It's fucking laughable. And then pretty much every character goes through that at some point in the film, and they're making jokes like minutes after they find bodies. Even when one of the characters is attacked and basically on his deathbed, he's still making jokes that just don't fit the scene and really just don't go along with what's going on. It's just so... I don't know if they were trying to make this a horror comedy. It didn't feel like it. It felt like it was trying to be serious, but throwing in little bits of humor to make it seem self-aware. I'm not sure what they were going for, but it just didn't work. All the jokes were, this and that. They were not good. I don't think I laughed once at any joke. There was some things I laughed at, but they weren't intentional. Jake Busey was in this for a minute. Criminally underused, because I do think that Jake Busey can be very effective, especially as the crazy guy. He plays that really well in, a film like Contact, or even the Hitcher sequel, which isn't good. I still think that he's pretty good in it. So he has that ability to play a really creepy guy, and he just kind of is a throwaway character. I'm sure it's just because it's, a lower budget film, and they couldn't afford to keep him on set very long. I don't know how much Jake Busey cost, but probably more in this film. It didn't seem like it had an incredibly low budget or anything, but clearly they couldn't afford him, because I feel like they could have utilized him much better. Now, the reason I really wanted to check out this film, despite everyone telling me that it wasn't good, is that a guy named Anthony DiBlasi directed this movie, and he actually directed a couple years back The Last Shift, which was one of my favorite films of 2014. He also did an After Dark Horror Fest movie called Dread, which is I think it's pretty good. I don't think it's great or anything. And then a movie called Casadaga, I think that's how you say it, which a lot of people loved. It got a lot of great reviews. I wasn't super keen on it, to be honest, but I thought it was stylistic, and I thought it was well done enough. It just didn't hit all the right notes for me in order for me to enjoy it. But I did respect it, and I thought it was pretty cool. And I think he did another horror movie that was really poorly reviewed. I don't even know what the name of that one is. But with, those kinds of things under his belt, I thought that this would be at least up there in a, this was enjoyable. This was just not good. My friends were definitely right on this. It was not a film that I would recommend to anybody. I think it's completely a throwaway film, unfortunately. There's one scene in the movie that's so fucking stupid. The girls run to get a gun, and the killer is in front of them, standing straight up. They're in a hallway where he can't run anywhere, really. Before they go to get the gun, though, they yell out, "Get the gun, get the gun!" Instead of just going and getting the gun, they yell it out so that the killer can know that they're about to go get a weapon. Then they come back, and he's still in the hallway, even though he's heard them yell, "Get the gun." The guy that he's attacking is on the floor, and they are like, the guy standing up, don't shoot him, you may hit the other guy. And it's like, how could you hit the other guy unless you were like the worst shot on fucking earth? And then the guy runs away. I know it's spoilery, but fuck, it's so goddamn stupid. So, whatever. The ending, the killer falls for the dumbest shit. It's so fucking stupid. I mean, there's really just pretty much everything that happens in the movie is stupid. The first girl who gets killed, her picture's been X'd out, and then when everyone comes, she's missing, and they don't even really make any mention that the fact that her picture has a big fucking red X through it. Why is this girl's picture, and where is she missing? And there's just no logic to anything. Everything is so silly, and there's really, it's mostly about a couple different little love stories going on more than anything. Now, getting to the last thing that I like to talk about is gore and nudity. The gore is almost non-existent. There is one really good decapitation scene. I call it the decapitation. You'll get it if you watch this piece of shit. That one's really good. And then there's this other one. It's the throat slit, something in there. It's decent. But the decapitation is literally the one good kill that has any gore. Everything else is off screen or silly, stupid. And then nudity. There's this supermodel in the movie, and she comes in, she's getting undressed, and she goes to show her tits, and she shows a little bit of side boob and some butt, and outside of that, nothing. So there's no redeeming qualities there, unfortunately. The atmosphere as well is just non-existent. There's not any moments where the film is tense or, you know, you're like, what's around that corner or anything like it. There's just, it's void of any atmosphere. The comedy doesn't hit. There's no real gore outside of the one kill. There's no nudity. The characters are all throwaway. It's just a bad movie, straight out. I was surprised at how bad it was, seeing as how amazing The Last Shift is. I'm not sure how you go from one to the other, because I don't think there was anything in between. I think it was his next film. So The Last Shift is excellent. I mean, excellent. Like 9 or 10 out of 10. And then this one I would say is 2 or 3 out of 10. I only save 1 out of 10s for seriously bad fucking movies. I read online all the time that the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. If that's the worst movie you've ever seen in your life, you're doing really fucking good. Clearly you haven't seen Manos, The Hands of Fate or something like that. Like, let's lighten up on films a little. So I'd say this is about a 3. It looks good, you know, it has some decent acting until the killings happen, and it just all goes to shit. The killer looks pretty cool. He's got a unique weapon, so I'll give it some points for that. But outside of that, I mean, don't watch it. It's on Netflix if you have to watch it, but don't. It's a waste of time.